Hi, this is Brian again. Welcome to part two of my Crisis Camp technology crash course. In this section, we're going to talk about Twitter and RSS feeds.
So the next one, there's a lot of chatter about these days, and people often don't know quite what to make of it, but it's Twitter. Twitter is essentially constant status updates and headlines at a maximum of 140 characters at a time. So I've gone here to twitter.com and I'm just going to sign into my account, which is left button, and it brings up all the people I've decided to follow. So I'm a baseball fan. I've got some baseball tweets. I've got some in relation to some of the work we're doing with Crisis Camp or other charity works. Um, some technology ones. But these are all people that I've opted to follow on my Twitter feed. If you want to see who all of them are, it's listed here under your following. I'm following 140 people, and I have 107 people following me. If I wanted to see what it was I've tweeted lately, I can click on my name, and it brings up the list of doing all my tweets. So my latest tweet was doing some work for Crisis Camp, building crash course in social media. That's what you're watching now. If I wanted to make a new tweet, I could just change my latest status to demonstrating Twitter for my social media crash course. Now, you see a lot of these links with these little hashtags and these little @ symbols. Actually, as we're doing this, there's a Crisis Camp tweet right in front of me. But if I wanted to reference an individual person or an individual account, Crisis Camp TO, for example, is its own Twitter feed. So that will link to Crisis Camp Toronto. I could also do a hashtag, which means that this tag is about social media. So when I tweet that, it will come up saying demonstrating Twitter for my social media crash course, and then it links to the Crisis Camp page. It also links to all tweets that have mentioned social media. So the @ symbol is relation to an account. The number sign, the hashtag, is about a particular topic. Now Twitter is good because you're just getting constantly the latest updates from all the people that you've decided to follow. A lot of people follow only a few. A lot of people follow thousands of people. So it's a fine line between getting the information you want and information overload. But when it comes to what's actually happening on the day of a given crisis camp, you'll get the updates about what each individual camp in location is doing, and these are all the tweets from Crisis Camp Toronto. And again, Twitter is free. You can get this delivered to your cell phone, your iPhone, your BlackBerry, however you want to do it. There are a million Twitter applications that will embed this onto your website, so you can always get this information disseminated pretty much anywhere. So that's Twitter. It's pretty simple. 140 characters, @ links to a person or an account, a number sign is a topic. The last thing I'm going to talk about today is something called RSS, and that's really simple syndication. And you see this icon all over a lot of websites, including some of the ones we've already looked at. You see this orange square down here, it says RSS feed. And what that is it breaks down all the information on the page to strictly data. There's no longer formatting, there's no longer images, there's no longer a background. It just strips it down into a headline and perhaps an author, and strips it down to the most basic form of data. And what that means is really easy to pass it around to other websites and make it available in other formats. So that's one example. On Twitter, my Twitter feed is now turned into an RSS feed. I just went to Google News earlier today. I clicked on the all of the news feed, and you see down here This is all of Google News. If I want to see that in one stream of data, I just click on RSS, and it builds it into strictly text with limited formatting. And that's Google. So that you could have all of Google News streaming right to whatever device you want to pump it into. This Crisis Commons blog has an RSS feed. So you see down here, entries RSS. If I click on entries RSS, it shows us essentially only the headlines with a little bit of information here, but it strips it down to basic text. And what you can do with this, it becomes strictly data. So you can push that into a website, you can push that into another application, and one example I've used here in one of my other websites is I can throw it into a WordPress, it's a blog, sidebar. So this is just a standard RSS feed where that's pulling headlines from an RSS feed somewhere else. Firefox also has a variety of RSS applications, and one I have down here is this one's reading all of my RSS feeds that I've subscribed to, and it's showing them along the bottom of my browser window. One project that Crisis Camp is working on a lot is the RSS feed aggregator. So this means that when a disaster happens, our volunteers are going through to collect all the relevant RSS feeds. So that means from news services, from Twitter folks who are close to the action and can provide us with information. And so when we take those feeds and actually collect them and sort them, we have a just huge amount of data that can help in a relief effort. And we're trying to build a function that can actually make that data useful instead of just the information overload I was already talking about. So that's one project we're talking about. And I'll show you one more thing on my phone in just a second.
So another cool thing about RSS is that it can be used on any sort of device. Like I said, it can go to the sidebar of a website, it can get fed into a database, it can also go to all your mobile devices. So if you have an iPhone or a BlackBerry or a smartphone or even a regular old text Motorola phone or something like that, most of them have the capability to take and interpret RSS feeds. And I have an application for my smartphone here that if I click on News and RSS, I can put in whatever feed I want to, and it will deliver all that information from all the feeds that I've asked for, whether it's from the Google News or from a blog or from any of the other subscriptions that I've put in, and it will feed those all directly to my phone. So that's just one other thing we can do with RSS feeds. And that's it for now. So I guess we'll see you soon at a Crisis Camp.